Alright, finally after like what, 6 minutes, we get to see what's new. And wow, NightGuard Afton, that's the new weekly. And then let's check the index. We got I have no idea. Let's see what the new evolutions are. So it looks like there's a new loadout preset, and yeah, there is. That's actually really cool. I think, yeah, whatever your team is right now, you could just set it as your preset. So you could have like an endless and a story mode team, or whatever funny team you just want to have saved. There's a new weekly exclusive which we just saw, and then 4 new evolutions, and then of course a new endless nightmare, which is pretty cool. But first, we actually gotta check out some of the new evolutions, and oh my goodness, we got a evolution for DeadEye Freddy. Is he gonna be worth it? I am pretty sure he will be. Let's see what the materials are we need for him. I didn't even notice it, but yeah, this Vengeance DeadEye Freddy, you just need all of these materials. This doesn't seem too expensive. I'm definitely gonna evolve mine. Oh, I do not have enough flashlights. Never mind then. I guess we'll look at him without Vengeance, but I'll for sure get him like shiny Vengeance in the future maybe. Looks like they also gave Phantom Freddy an evolution. That's pretty crazy. And the puppet, so both of the old endless characters. And then of course the new NightGuard Afton. Ooh, this looks really cool. So slows enemy by 60%. Oh my god. You know what? Wow, this is the new best starter. Or at least new best slower. And then deals 50% damage and poison. So half of this damage and poison? Is that what I'm guessing? This actually might be like the new best starter. We need to test out all these characters and see who is worth it. Now that I think about it, the only like old or like not recent endless character that didn't get an evolution was Endo, which must have been intentional because it's a support character. So they're probably gonna save that for later. Anyways, let's get to the part where I'm gonna actually compare the evolutions. So for this Phantom Freddy, looks like they're still single. I'm pretty sure this should be more like continuous because I assume that's still the attack type. And then his damage increased from a max of 35 to a minimum of 60, and then a max of 110. Still the same hit speed, and then still the same range. So yeah, it looks like it's basically just more damage and a cheaper cost, which is basically like enough of what he needs. I guess like the only other thing that would be cool if he does like AoE or piercing, but at that point he's a completely different character. So yeah, just increasing his damage is already really good. Next up, we got the SharpShooter Puppet, and compared to the Puppet, they have the same range, same cooldown, and looks like just more damage. Yeah, but that's a pretty big increase from a max of 800 damage to a minimum of 150, and then a max of 400. And then let's also keep this in mind, the Puppet used to have 2 placements, this one might have more placements. The cost is still the same. And then for the Phantom Freddy, he used to have 3 placements, and we will see how many placements he has now. And last but certainly not least, in fact he might be the craziest one, we have the DeadEye Freddy and his evolution President Freddy. So I guess he's so patriotic, he just becomes the president, which is pretty funny. So looks like it's still the same thing. Actually the cooldown slightly goes down from 3.5 to 3. And then the range is still the same. The type is still the same. Well, it says explosion to splash, but it should still be the same thing. And then the damage increase is actually really crazy. From a max of 250, and then now to a minimum of 1,100, and then a max of 1,700. This could actually be contender for best starter, just because these stats for a cost of 300, like they basically just made him relevant again from like what he used to be, where he used to just do like a lot of kind of damage for how cheap he is, and he might just fulfill that role again. But I actually think this new Afton, NightGuard Afton, could actually be a contender as well. These are his stats. He's not an evolution, he's just a new character, so it's not like a purple guy evolution, but I'm sure we will see that one day. But yeah, for now, let's test out these characters and see how well they do. Alright, so to test out these characters, I want to go to Endless to see what the new Endless presents are as well. and it doesn't look like there's any good indicator for what it is. So I'm gonna try to do this endless, and then I won't do hell mode just because that's obviously gonna be too hard for these non-shiny, non-good enchant characters. So we'll go ahead and choose Vengeful. But yeah, let's see what there is. Didn't look like there was anything in that rewards. But yeah, I got everyone with at least a decent enchant. It looks like we actually start off with more money here. I don't actually remember. But yeah, we do still have 4 replacements with this guy, which is pretty good. But yeah, still really cheap. I was able to like max everyone out basically. And yeah, he's looking really good. Let's go ahead and place down our, I think the cooldown support, actually, Music Man, is gonna make him look really good. You saw that was down to like 1 second. That's insane. And then we're gonna have the NightGuard over here. Oh my god, that is actually like way too slow. Look at that. They're not even moving. That's crazy. That is so strong, guys. And then they have some pretty good range as well. And then we can go ahead and give them the support as well. And yeah, these 2 starters are looking very promising. I think this is the closest starters we've actually had recently to compare to Phone Guy. Excluding Rockin' Bonnie, I actually think he's really close as well, but like he's basically just AoE and damage. Like meanwhile, this guy is slow and like splash damage, which is like 2 really strong abilities that Phone Guy has. And this guy is just like cheap and like big AoE damage. And yeah, I decided to not actually bring the range support just so I can actually bring everyone here. And yeah, like the range isn't like the biggest factor. And I actually just ended up getting Puppet's Nightmare on everyone anyway, so I'm sure their range is gonna be looking pretty good. So far we only got the season present, but yeah, the endless present, hopefully we would be able to see what it looks like and see what the epic for that would be like, if there is a new epic for it. But yeah, in terms of the placements, Patriot still has the same amount of placements, and then the Puppet actually got an extra placement, and the Phantom Freddy still has 3 placements, so that's pretty good. As long as no one has less placements, I think that's good. Unless if, of course, their stats are just increased by like a bunch, but yeah. I think these cooldown supports are actually going to make even like this Sharpshooter Puppet look way better. But yeah, like with his evolution, maybe he's not going to be the complete worst. Also, that's really funny. Wow, he's just like all the way in the ground. Looks like that model disappeared. But yeah, the extra placement is going to increase their DPS by a lot. The range is still really good, and hopefully their DPS is actually like good now. I'm gonna quickly calculate what their base DPS will be after this, and then I'll probably do like a shiny vengeance showcase for all of them in the future. So now let's go ahead and place down the Phantom Freddy and see how he does. And then boom, we have everyone placed down and maxed out. Let's just quickly see how they all look like. Alright, so we're getting a closer look at them. And yeah, Freddy is just all suited up. Like he basically just had like the rocket and was just normal Freddy. And then now he's just fully suited up. He's looking like a president from like an ad or something. Let's look at the other evolutions. Looks like the Puppet got like a purple box. And the Puppet itself, it actually still looks the same. Is the gun different? I think the gun looks more beefy maybe. Kind of hard to tell because it keeps looking like everywhere and it just does not want to shoot. And then for these purple guys, like they look pretty cool. It's basically just purple guy with a security outfit. And then these Phantom Freddys, they look pretty cool. I like this design. He used to just be like a plain old Phantom Freddy, and then now they added all this cool like withering and whatnot, and like these shoulder pads. I think that's pretty cool. Let's wait one more wave and see if we will get the endless present. If not, I'll just move on to the next part of the video where I just show off their DPS at like base level with no support and no enchant. Well, I just think this slow is like so good. We actually did get the endless present. That is really good. We're gonna go ahead and open that up and see what we're gonna get from it. Whoa, I saw like a little endo thing right there. Let's see if it shows up. It doesn't show up. I saw like a weird looking endo thing. Hopefully that shows up in the video. I have no idea what that would be though. Alright, so one thing they actually did just change, thank goodness that I saw this, and I'm going to include this in the video. Yeah, they nerfed his slow to 35%. I think that is really fair because 60% is really insane. That actually does make Galleon Foxy practically pointless, and I would not mind that just because I hate using Galleon Foxy. His hitbox is so fat, it's annoying to deal with. But yeah, we're gonna get into his DPS in just a second, but I still think he's really promising. We're gonna quickly open this Titanic present, which is the new endless present. Let's see what we get. Augmented Endo. Yeah, that's actually the thing that I just saw that I was talking about while loading in. And I believe actually like the new nightmare is probably going to be that Sentinel Bonnie looking character from the logo of the game right now, and that was like recently leaked. And then the last evolution is actually Outlaw Freddy, which I'm not able to get right now, but I'm sure you guys will probably see that evolution soon, and I'll probably make a video on that as well. But yeah, so I showed off every new secret from this update, and then the new epic is this endo. Let's see, 50 damage every 0.3 seconds, and they're a starter. Yeah, obviously not very good, not even like worth showing off right now, but you can probably guess what their stats are going to be like. I think if I would compare them, it would be like Endo 02 without evolution. Like, he was pretty bad. I guess this guy could have like a lot of placements as well, which would make him a bit better. But yeah, he's an epic, doesn't really matter. Alright, and so we're gonna get into the calculations of all of the characters and their base stats. So starting off with the Phantom Freddy, he's doing a total of 6,600 DPS with all of the placements fully maxed out. I think that's alright for a DPS character, and it's only single target as well. It's definitely an improvement. I believe he used to be around 3,000. No, he used to be around 2,100. So yeah, a little over double the DPS from what he used to be. And then next up, we have the Sharpshooter Puppet. And honestly, it's pretty funny because I think he's still pretty bad, guys. So his complete like DPS with all placements, yet again, still with no enchants or supports, he's doing a total of 2,400 DPS. That's like literally going to be comparable to the next two starters that we're going to talk about, which is really crazy because they cost way more than these starters. I guess the only plus side about this character though is the fact that they have a lot more range and they pierce. But yeah, still really bad, but it's kind of whatever. And yeah, this guy is also pretty mid because he doesn't do the most insane DPS. But yeah, it's like, I guess, expected since they're both endless characters. I do think they would at least help out new and beginner players like a bunch of these other evolutions we actually got last week. And then yeah, let's move on to the NightGuard Afton. And this one's the most interesting one. So he's doing around 1,700 DPS. But he also has the poison ability, which says deals 50% damage in poison. So I'm gonna assume that it's literally just half of the DPS we just calculated. And if that's the case, he should be doing an extra 850 damage from that, which should be a total of 2,500 DPS. It really depends on how the poison actually works. I do assume it's just like an extra tick of damage from the original damage, just based on what it's telling us. But yeah, that's actually really impressive and does make him do a lot more damage than Fungi. Plus, he's a lot cheaper and does slightly more slow than Fungi. So yeah, he has a chance to be better than Fungi. Just so you can see, yeah, slows by 30%. So basically, Fungi now just has the only advantage of being a full AoE instead of a splash. And then in terms of the range, yeah, they have the same amount of range. So I can see this guy just being straight up better than Phone Guy in most situations. He's cheaper, he does more damage, and he slows a bit more. Alright, and lastly, the DPS of this President Freddy, he is now up to 2,260 DPS for all 4 placements. He should still be like the most cheapest starter out of everyone, like even including like the 4 placements and whatnot. For that much DPS, that's just like honestly really good. So I actually do think like he's just barely under this NightGuard Afton, and the only thing NightGuard Afton has is like the slowing. The only thing is NightGuard Afton is barely more expensive, so I do think he's just gonna be overall better. He also has slightly more range. I just think he will be better. And if I do like a showcase where like it's just a solo run of these starters, I think he will just do better just because of that slowing ability. I think that slowing ability kind of technically increases all of these characters' DPS just because they're being slowed down, and then they stay there for longer and then they take more hits, so that increases their DPS. It obviously wouldn't matter if you bring another slower, but that's the thing about a slowing starter, is that they kind of fulfill both roles. So yeah, NightGuard Afton might be the new best starter, and we got another contender who's actually like up there, who's the President Freddy. And honestly guys, there's a crazy thing that they just teased right now. I don't know if they actually did it yet. I'm gonna go ahead and rejoin and see if it changed or not. Yeah, it doesn't look like it actually changed. Let me just look at purple guy really quick. It just says turret spawner. Yeah, so they just teased, I'll show it on the screen, that those 2 characters plus the Fortified Endo are gonna actually have cone AoE, which is what this guy currently has. Besides the slow, this guy is still gonna have the slow compared to those other guys. That's huge though. That makes a huge difference. I actually think Phone Guy might actually be dethroned by all of those characters very soon. We will have to see though. That's definitely gonna be a big video that I'm gonna make. And yeah, that's just insane that they're actually gonna do that. It's not confirmed because like it hasn't happened yet, but yeah, I'll definitely make a video if that happens. But yeah, anyways, that's it for this video. I covered basically every secret in this new update, and also told you that there is a Nightmare evolution that I will showcase soon, and then a Nightmare from the Endless President. Most likely that's Suddent Bonnie. I don't have him yet though, but that's fine. I'll make a video on him soon enough. So yeah, that's the end of the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.